Okay, tonight we're going to put together a crock pot bacon lasagna. And we're going to get it all ready and then stick it in the refrigerator. And tomorrow morning, before I go to work, I can put the crock pot on low. And when I come home, I'll have a nice crock pot lasagna ready. So what you need to do for your crock pot lasagna is you need to take a pound of ground beef and you need to brown that with 2 cloves of garlic and a large onion that has been chopped. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on and let that start browning. And while that is cooking, you need to take your favorite spaghetti sauce. It can be a jar of sauce, a can of sauce, and just put that in a pot to warm. And to that, we're going to add a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons, let's do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And we're going to add about 1/4 of a cup, which is 3 tablespoons, of red wine. Okay, and that's going to, as it heats and warms and all the flavors incorporate together, that's going to make it taste like a really old world cooked all day sauce. So I'm just going to give that a stir, and I'm going to turn that on medium so that it can start heating. So it's just your basic favorite spaghetti sauce with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and about 1/4 of a cup of red wine. You can also add garlic salt to that if you really like the flavor of garlic. So while that's heating, you want to take 16 ounces of ricotta cheese. Now, in the store, I noticed that the 16-ounce containers of ricotta cheese are no longer 16 ounces. They are 15 ounces. But they still make the 32-ounce of ricotta cheese. So I just went ahead and bought a 32-ounce, and I will use half of it for this recipe. Because if I bought the 15-ounce, I wouldn't really have enough. And let's face it, the cheese is the best part of a lasagna. So I'm going to use about half of this 32-ounce container, probably, I'm actually using a little bit more, but at least we know it's at least 16 ounces. Whereas had we bought the small container, it would have only been 15 ounces. And we're going to add to that a cup of Parmesan cheese and 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. And then what you want to do is you want to incorporate all that together. So while this is cooking, I'm going to turn the video off, and once it's completely brown, I will join you again and we will prepare this crock pot lasagna. Okay, so our ground beef is just about brown, so I'm going to salt and pepper the ground beef. And then I'm going to, right before it's finished, I'm going to add some baby portobellos that have been sliced. And let those cook. Mushrooms don't take very long to cook. Now, I realized my bowl was too small for my cheese, so I just dumped it all into a larger bowl. And remember, this is a cup of Parmesan shredded, 2 cups of mozzarella, and 16 ounces of the ricotta. And then to that, we're also going to add 1 raw egg. And the easiest way to mix this is to just get a firm, hard spoon. And you just want to get all this mixed together. And I'll show you what it looks like. Because the ricotta, is very clumpy. So you want to get that evenly mixed with your other cheeses. Okay, so our meat is cooked. And as always, if you're not a big fan of mushrooms, you can leave the mushrooms out. It's not a big deal. That's why we call this, what's the big deal? Just take the things that you like and put it together. Now, I've also pre-cooked 9 slices of bacon so that they are done. You don't want them overcooked, but you do want them cooked complete. And if you don't like bacon, you could use pancetta. The only difference between pancetta and regular bacon that you buy in the grocery store is the pancetta is cured but not smoked. The bacon is typically cured and smoked. So you can use bacon or you can use pancetta. And you're going to take your crock pot, and the first thing we're going to do is to spray our crock pot so that nothing sticks. We can have easy cleanup tomorrow after a long day at work. All right, our sauce is heated. You're really just incorporating the flavors. So we're going to take our sauce and we're going to put a thin layer of sauce, probably about a cup, on the bottom of the crock pot, just so that you have a little bit of sauce all the way covering the bottom of your crock pot. And what that's going to do is that's going to give a base for your noodles so that they don't stick. So we will take our lasagna noodles, and they're just basic lasagna noodles, not cooked, and we're going to make a layer in the bottom, and you will have to kind of snap them in half. You can even make them into thin pieces to put along the sides so that you have your bottom of your pan, your crock pot, covered with lasagna noodles. So just kind of break them up. And cover the bottom of your pan. Then, on top of your noodles, you're going to layer sauce, just a little bit because you already have sauce on the bottom, and your meat. So you take your meat, and I would say about a third of it, because you want to make at least 3 layers, so about a third of your meat, and this is the meat, the mushrooms, and the onion, and the garlic, and just make a layer. That looks to be about a third. And then a third of your cheese mixture, which is the ricotta, the mozzarella, and the Parmesan. And you can just take this and put little tablespoon dollops over the meat mixture. And if you want to, you can spread it out nice and even, or you can just leave it in the little tablespoon dollops because it will melt and spread on its own as it cooks. And you're going to do that again. You're going to do layer of noodles, sauce, meat, cheese, and your bacon. Don't forget your bacon. So we're going to put in a layer, 3 pieces of bacon. And we'll just kind of break those up and lay those around. So you've got your noodles, sauce, meat, cheese, and bacon. And you just keep layering it until everything is gone. And then you'll cover it and stick it in your refrigerator. And when you're ready to cook it, you'll want to just turn it on low for about 4 hours. So if you work all day, this is something that you would want to do on a weekend. I get off early tomorrow at 3, so I can come home and turn it on when I get home at 3, and it will be done around 7. Or you can just turn it on low, and then if you have a timer on your crock pot, you can adjust it so that it's completely finished cooking at 5, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever time you normally get home. So it's really simple, it's easy, and it's really delicious, and I hope that you will try it, and I hope that your family will enjoy it as much as our family has.